A very warm welcome to all. I'm Devyani. I'm second year data science graduate student at University of Colorado Boulder. I would be presenting my project FinWiseBot, which is a sec-to-sec chatbot that specializes on finance. So, what is a chatbot? I'm very sure everyone would be familiarized with it. It Chatbots are computer programs designed to simulate conversation with user, offering a responsive and interactive interface for information retrieval or assistance. As of 2022, over 80% businesses reported an increase in customer engagement after implementing chatbots, showcasing their growing significance in enhancing user interaction. These are the various use cases such as customer support, appointment scheduling, e-commerce assistance, finance guidance, and language translation. Coming to the different types of chatbot, a autoregressive chatbot generate responses one token at a time, predicting each word based on preceding context. A sec-to-sec chat uses encoder or decoder architecture for input and output sequence. A retrieval-based chatbot select predefined responses in the form of a set of candidates, choosing the most appropriate based on input. Generative chatbots create responses from scratch, allowing for more diverse and contextually relevant answers. Rule-based chatbot follow predefined rules and patterns to generate responses suitable for specific and structured tasks. In the realm of finance, there's a significant amount of specialized terminology and jargon that can be challenging for individuals, especially those new to the field, to understand. A finance chatbot designed to provide clear and concise definition of financial terms can address this issue. The chatbot aims to assist users in quickly grasping the meaning of various financial terms, promoting financial literacy, and aiding in better decision making. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Let's start with data gathering and cleaning. For the chatbot, I collected 100 question and answers in the form of CSV. These question and answers were gathered from various sources such as Investopedia, etc. The rest question are more personal questions. These were added to give a human touch to the chatbot. So as you can see here, the questions such as, can you write a poem? Who painted the Mona Lisa? Is a more personal question. Whereas what is a stock? What is a bond? What does compound interest? How does compound interest work? Are more technical questions. On the right, you can see a graph between number of sentences and sentence length. Or as you can see, it's more or less skewed, and therefore the the maximum sentence length is determined through this graph, which would be the 95 percentile of all the data points. Since our input and output data is text data, a lot of cleaning process is involved in it. First, we did tagging where we added start and end tokens to, to answers. This ensures that the model learns to generate responses while considering the proper sequences boundaries. Then we did tokenization. It is a process of breaking down a text into forms of into individual units of tokens such as words of support. Then we did padding. This is a process of adding filler tokens to sequences of varying length to make them uniform. It ensures that input data has consistent dimension. So these are the various stages of the data cleaning process. As you can see, first we did the tagging of answers, then we did the tokenization, and then we did padding. Let's discuss the brain of our chatbot, the model architecture. Our model is a sec-to-sec model. A sec-to-sec or a sequence-to-sequence model is a deep learning architecture used in NLP consisting of an encoder and decoder. But before diving into it, let's first understand what is an LSTM. LSTM or long short term memory is a RNN designed to overcome the limitation RNN of vanishing gradient. LSTM maintain a memory cell that can retain information over extended sequences, making them highly effective for sequential model like language modeling and time series analysis. Their architecture includes gates that regulate the flow of information, ensuring relevant context is preserved while relevant data is discarded. Irrelevant data is discarded. This is a very basic common architecture of a LSTM sec-to-sec or encoder-decoder model. So what is an encoder? The encoder preprocesses the input sequence and compresses the information into a context vector, also known as state vector. This vector aims to encapsulate the information of the input sequence to assist the decoder in generating the output. Decoder takes the context vector generated by encoder and starts generating the output sequence. In the case of a chatbot, it would be the response to an input question or statement. This is a more generic high-level diagram of an encoder decoder, and as you can see, it passes a context or a state vector from encoder to decoder. So for our particular case, this is a very high-level architecture diagram. We call that first we did data preparation and finally we did tokenization. Then we come through the encoder. In encoder, there's an input layer that takes in the padded question sequences. Then, an embedding layer, it converts tokenized words into dense vector of fixed length, that is embedding dimension, capturing the semantic relationship between words. Then, an LSTM layer that processes the word embeddings with each LSTM unit, capturing some context of the input sequence. Then we have decoder, which is structured similarly to encoder but focuses on generating the output sequence. Takes the state vector from encoder as its initial state. Finally, we have a dense layer, which is used at the output to generate probabilities for each word in the vocabulary from which the response is constructed. The model is trained using Adam optimizer and sparse categorical cross entropy loss function. The, the code defines inference model for the code and decoder separately to generate responses during chatbot interaction. Finally, we have a generate response function that takes user input, preprocesses it through the trained model, and generate a response. As you can see here, for we have two LSTM layer, one each for encoder and decoder. We have similar in the case of embedding layer, and finally we have a dense. Let's deep dive into results. We ran this our model for 250 epochs, achieving an accuracy of 90.82%. As the epoch increased, the model accuracy also increased and the loss decreased. Here we can see the user interaction As you can see, for some of the questions, the chatbot answered correctly, and it didn't in some other cases. We then prepare a script for test questions and reference answers. The test questions were a mix of a personal and specific questions. Reference answers were created so that we can calculate the rogue score. A rogue or recall oriented understudy for gesting evaluation is a set of metrics for evaluating automatic summarization and machine translation system. It compares an automatically produced summary of translation against a set of summaries. So as you can see here, if the answer is correct, the rogue score would be more, or else it would be less. Coming to the last part. So according to our findings, the model performed averagely. It answered correctly for some and didn't for some. This could be due to the lack of attention layer, which as whereas since we used a simple context layer in our model, also we just have one LSTM layer for each encoder decoder. So therefore, this model will work fine for small dimension of data, but not for large data. Before discussing the last point of finding, let's just see context and attention. As you can see, a vanilla sec-to-sec model suffers from bottleneck. This is solved using attention, where the context vector is connecting to each LSTM in encoder and decoder. We, we had a small number of embeddings. If we The limited number of embeddings were taken to reduce the computation time. So in conclusion, we implemented a chatbot using a vanilla sec-to-sec model. For future enhancement, of course, we can add add more LSTM layers and attention mechanism. Please check out our website to gain more information about the project. I would like to thank Professor Amy Cates and Professor Jim Martin, and I would really recommend this book. Thank you all. I hope you like the video.